So, you know Rain Leverkusen, who is now Lizzie Rain in WWE, making her NXT debut next week?
Yes.
She is actually the niece of the late drummer for Iron Maiden, Clive Burr.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's fucking mad.
That is mad. But that's actually kind of cool because she's all about metal and, and rock and roll and shit. So that's really cool.
Yeah, she has that Wild Child vibe.
Yeah. Yeah, proper dark shit.
I'm excited to see her in NXT.
Yeah, me too. Speaking of dark shit, we have our first match, Miles Bourne versus Dion Lennox from Dark State. What do we think of that match?
The match was actually banging. It was actually a really good match.
It was actually. I really enjoyed it.
I wasn't really expecting much when they came out. I was kind of like, oh, not that we're doing this again, but I was like, oh, okay, what are we going to get from this?
Yeah.
But this was actually one of the better this was one of the standouts of the night. So it was. Think? Yeah, just because of I'm really liking everything they're doing with Dark State right now, with all of the shit between Saquon and Dion.
Yeah, I'm really liking that as well. During the match, you had Dark State constantly interfering in the match, trying to fuck Miles up, and they couldn't really get on the same page very well. But it ended with Saquon trying to
That's how little on page they could get, because Saquon ends up screwing it all up for Dion.
Exactly.
Which leads to Miles getting the win.
And as he was trying to save it, he got caught up in the ropes a little bit.
He got a little caught up and he was just dangling there. He's like, fellas, hey fellas, help fellas.
I'm stuck.
I got my leg stuck.
Why does he sound like that?
I don't know, that's just how Saquon sounds.
Oh, okay.
Should I hear it?
Yeah, I kind of do hear it. It kind of suits, yeah.
Yeah.
Then later on, after the match, after Miles wins, basically backstage, we get Saquon talking to
Robert Stone.
I was going to say, I know it's Stone, but I couldn't remember his first name. I'm still getting used to him. And he basically was like, oh, give us another chance, give Dark State another chance. And I could kind of see where they were going with it. And because he wasn't saying give Dion another chance, he was saying give Dark State another chance. And they did. And he gave the chance to Saquon. So it's going to be Saquon versus Miles Bourne next week.
I thought it was going to be a tag team title match. I thought that's what Saquon had finagled his way around into getting. Yeah, I thought he finagled his way around. That's how he did. But I was actually really happy when it was the fact that he had gotten the North American title shot.
Yeah,
because I was like, oh, Descent. I was like, yes, oh, feed me that fucking Descent.
The cracks are showing.
Yes.
And Dion was like, trying to act all like, wait a second. But then he was like, well, you did say, bringing the gold back, it doesn't matter who. And he was like, shit, I did say that.
What do you mean? I'm fairly certain he looked at Saquon and he was like, best of luck, buddy.
Yeah.
That's how he sounds.
Is that how he sounds?
Yeah.
Okay.
That group is very effeminate.
It's great impressions all around.
I know it is, yeah. Then you have Cutler James just lingering there in the back. He's like, hey, fellas, what's going on?
It's fair if he just doesn't say much, to be honest. Just stand there.
Well, they were doing some weird innuendo stuff with him for a while.
Yeah, do you remember that?
They've just kind of given up on that now, which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
But
I think they were doing that to try and get him out of the shell a little bit. And
that is probably what it was, actually.
Yeah,
that's
and
a good show.
It did work for a little bit, but I think he's just better as a background character, at the moment. He's so wooden.
He is. He's very wooden. But look, in fairness, he is going to get there. But yeah, when it comes to the Miles and Dion stuff and that, it was a good match. I'm looking forward to Saquon next week.
Same.
But speaking of looking forward to things, I think we were both really looking forward to Tatum and Blake this week.
Yes.
And everything to do with this casket match. And I think it delivered.
It really did. I really enjoyed it. I think that's my first casket match I've ever seen, in real time.
Before we go fully into that, just to jump back to the Miles and Dion stuff for a second, I think that is definitely a highlight of the night.
Yeah, agreed. Definitely a highlight. Yeah, definitely deserves to be in the highlight ranking. 100%.
So speaking of potential highlights then, we'll actually get into the Tatum and Blake stuff.
Yeah. I really liked everything they're doing with Tatum and Blake. And I really liked Blake being affiliated with the Vanity Project as well. There was a backstage moment with the Vanity Project and Blake, and she's getting ready for her match. And the Vanity Project say, oh, we have to leave or Jackson Drake says he needs to leave because he's got a date. And he goes, oh, we'll just be across the road. Don't worry. Right? So he goes, and then later on, we see Tatum and Shiloh backstage, and Shiloh's trying to encourage Tatum before her match. And Shiloh goes, I'm just worried. Tatum says, I'm just worried that the Vanity Project are just going to get involved and ruin everything. And he goes, oh, no, don't worry about that. I've gotten taken care of that. I've set up a date. He goes, a date with who? I'll find out. And it's like, ooh, what's he done? So that was funny.
All of this was good.
Yeah.
Like everything involving Tatum, Blake, the Vanity Project, other people who, all of a sudden appear.
Yeah.
With me and you being big LFG fans in the past.
Yeah.
Seeing a certain person in the bar.
Yes.
Which we'll get to in a minute. But yeah, all of this was done well. It was a good, it wasn't an underlying story throughout the show, but it was for the first half.
Exactly.
And it was done very well because obviously we then cut to, I think they did one of those Instagram NXT things where it shows then Jackson in the bar and the two other idiots are there for Smokes and Baylor. And they're just like, oh, our boy Jackson, hopefully this blonde chick has some friends for us. Oh, bro, yeah, bro, oh my god.
Women are the worst.
You just want to slap the shit out of them. But yeah, then you obviously get to the bar and Jackson is alone because he's been stood up.
Oh no.
Or maybe she didn't exist.
Yes.
But then all of a sudden, you have this behemoth of a woman who we love.
Yes.
Because we've seen her before in LFG. She's formerly Bailey. Now I think she is known as Micah.
Crushing skulls everywhere.
Yeah. I think they said her name now was Micah.
Micah, yeah. Which I actually think kind of suits her. I'm happy with that name. Because obviously she can't be Bailey because we already have Bailey.
Yeah.
You can't let her have Bailey,
I'd have been surprised if they had let her keep Bailey. That would have been weird.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I know you were worried when they started down, obviously when they showed her and then they cut away. I think you were worried that they were making fun of her.
I was a little bit worried that they might go down that road because, I don't know, because Vanity Project are vain. They're Vanity Project, you know what I mean?
And they're dicks.
And they're dicks. So I was like, oh no, please don't make fun of Bailey. Please don't do that. I really like her. But they didn't. They actually went the opposite way with it. And
Bailey wasn't in this. Bailey's on Raw.
Oh, sorry, Micah.
Oh, there we go.
So I was like, please don't make fun of Micah. I don't like that. But they didn't. They actually went the other way with it, and they thought she was hot. And
because of how strong and massive she was, and how
but they weren't. What I actually liked about it is that every time she mentioned something about being strong or fucking someone up or kicking someone's ass, they were like, "Whoa, she's awesome!" I was just like, "Yeah, that's what we want."
That's probably something that I wouldn't have paid too much attention to in the past.
Yeah, but
because I'm now watching it with a baby-brained wrestling fan and seeing it from your perspective like that. I actually, it allows me then to see it through that lens where I wouldn't have seen that before. And now I realize, oh, that is probably what they're actually going for.
Yeah.
So I now get to see that as well. And because there are things where I wouldn't have gotten them. I would have had my own connotations behind them, or I would have had my old Vince McMahon kind of
and if this
booking.
was back in Vince McMahon, that's the route they would have taken.
Yeah.
So I'm actually really happy that they're going this way with it, and it's we've grown.
Yeah, that is where we're at now. It's oh, we've grown a little.
Yay, we've grown up and we're not going to be horrible assholes. Another side note, I just want to mention that I am loving Tatum and Shiloh's chemistry and their back and forth. I think they work so well together and they've got such great chemistry.
They do. They have phenomenal chemistry. Everything that they're involved in just really jumps off the screen kind of thing. It's
just two little weirdos.
It is. It's two little weirdos getting to be their little weirdo selves and do all weird shit.
Exactly.
Casket stuff and her wearing a veil out to the ring, and him like it is. It's
and his weird like laugh. He's like, better than that. Better than what I just did.
It is better than what you just did.
So the match itself, there were some really, really cool highlights throughout it.
The match itself, I think before we even get to the end, I think we'll just say this was a highlight.
It was
this
a highlight.
Absolutely
definitely.
Is a highlight of the night. The match itself was banging. The back and forth between them. I think we knew it was going to be diamonds in the bag and not thumbtacks.
Yes.
I think I had mentioned to you, what if it had been doll heads?
Doll heads.
That would have been an interesting one, but obviously diamonds.
Diamonds make sense, and also I don't think you would really hurt to fall on doll's heads. Lego maybe, yeah, but
I'm gonna cut off a bunch of doll heads and I'm gonna bounce you into them, and we're gonna see if they hurt or not.
I think no, I don't want that.
I think yes.
But I have to say as well that Tatum looked fucking cool, like with her white eye contact, and she just looked insane. I think you said that she looked like a female Aleister Black.
She did, obviously, with the eye.
Yeah.
But it's just funny, obviously, calling back. We've mentioned this now a few times episodes. But it was such a good idea. It does deserve it. It's almost like they're throwing it in our face now every now and then. But with your fantasy booking of the Black Veil Syndicate, seeing her come out with one contact in, a black veil, and just looking the way she did, she looked like she could be Aleister Black's protege.
Yeah.
You
definitely.
know, so it was
cool.
It was crazy. It was cool.
Yeah.
And then
the dollhouse as well.
The dollhouse was it was a good spot, which was a little let down by the fact that when Tatum was kicked through it, she obviously was a little too far away, so she only went through like the bottom part. I'm sure that they had originally wanted to like just destroy it and go through the middle and like obliterate the whole thing, which I'm sure Tatum was probably pissed at.
It just fucked up the foundation, you know. Didn't get the whole thing.
Just ground floor.
Basement.
Just took out the ground floor. But yeah, then like with that match, you had that spot as well with the DDT spot. Which was that was a really good spot. That was like, that looked impactful. I think the one spot that really got us though was the Spanish Fly
off the top of the casket.
Off the top of the casket. I thought that one of them was about to break their neck because
it looked vicious.
It did, but it also looked like Tatum's so small, you know, and like the rotation, it just didn't look like she had enough rotation. So then when they were eventually getting to the floor, I was like, ah.
She's good at those like quick flips though, because that's kind of she incorporates that in her other moves as well.
Yeah.
So I feel like she just does that really, really well, and I think it's because she's small as well. She can get that rotation, you know.
We'll just keep doing it that well, and I'll be happy because
as long as no one gets hurt, I don't care.
And obviously, I don't think we'd be as happy talking about this if it wasn't for the fact that in the end,
they're all fine.
Obviously they're all fine. But in the end, Tatum comes away with the win.
Yes.
Because if Blake had won this, we would have been pissed. There was a very good spot near the end as well where Tatum is in the casket. Blake is going to win the match, lowers drops the lid on the casket.
Yeah.
However, Tatum then slides out Blake's fake belt to stop it from closing, which was a really nice touch because Blake's fake title has now cost her winning the real title.
Yeah, the irony.
Oh, the ironing.
The irony of it.
But yeah, that was definitely a highlight.
Yeah.
I hope that that's the end of Tatum and Blake now.
It has to be.
It has to be. It's a casket match. It does have to be.
Yeah.
They make weird choices, though.
Good rivalry, though. I think it had a good build-up, and if it ends here, I think, perfect.
I think it's elevated both of them, and I think it has elevated, Tatum even more, especially in the crowd's eyes.
Yes.
Like, she has gotten better in the ring these last 2 months.
And she's gotten more comfortable as well, I feel like, in herself and on the mics. And just like delving into like the weirdness of her character more and more. And I want her to commit even harder. Like there was a moment when they were in the casket together and they kind of did this weird little laugh.
Yes.
And that could have been such a cool moment if she just fully committed and just went proper like crazy laugh.
Like Shiloh.
Like Shiloh.
Gone a little Shiloh,
Like
yeah.
Shiloh proper commits to it, and I think that's why it works for him.
Yeah, that is why it works for him.
Yeah.
See, if you don't commit to those things, it's not... people at home can see that. You know? Like, if you commit to something and it's stupid, but you're committing, like, people are going to give you that credit. They're going to be like, man, this is a stupid gimmick, or this is a stupid whatever, but fair play to you for committing to it and trying to make it something.
Exactly. And I think the crowd appreciate that.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Now on to a not so great part of the night.
Not so great at all, no. And this was one of those where you would be looking forward to it. Obviously, we saw on Raw that Joe Hendry will be performing a live concert on next week's Raw.
I'm looking forward to that.
And I'm fairly certain they said on the broadcast that he's now been called up. So I'm fairly certain this was his last match. So going into it, knowing that he has this match, I was fairly certain that Keanu was going to win. I think you thought Joe might leave with the win.
Yeah, I did think it was going to be Joe just because he is being brought up to the main roster. So I was thinking, oh, they want to make him look as strong as possible and they'll have him win.
That's the thing with NXT, though. I think the main roster and people producing it and all that, they don't, like, not that they don't expect, but they don't really put much heed into the crossover of NXT to main roster fan base.
Yeah.
You know, it's like maybe 10 to 20% of the fans who watch Raw watch NXT, watch Raw, or vice versa. Sorry, 20% of the fans who watch Raw watch NXT. You know what I mean? So that's only a small amount of the fan base. So they're not going to try and, like, you know, pander to them too much. Unless
it's Oba. Then he just leaves the title in the ring and walks off into the sunset.
Yes. But that's the thing. Oba in NXT, when he was the champion, he transcended NXT, where he was like, you know, he was getting those kind of viral clips just from being in NXT, you know. Exactly. Joe has them as well, in fairness. Joe does have them, but not to the extent that Oba does. Like, Joe is like a mix of Oba and Danhausen.
I get what you're saying. And also, just to point out that Joe had moments on the main roster before he went into NXT.
Yes.
Which is unusual because usually you have NXT, you get good there and then you get your moments on the main roster. But he kept going back and forth, and which is unique.
If reports are to be believed, which I think they are, he was on main roster money the entire time he was on in
really?
NXT. Yeah, wow. That's why it was always expected that he wouldn't be there long. Yeah. I'm surprised he was there this long.
Same.
So, yeah, that surprised me.
Yeah, it was more like NXT needed Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry didn't need NXT.
That's a very good point, yeah. Now, the thing is, I don't think Raw needs Joe Hendry either. I wanted to see him on SmackDown. SmackDown needs...
Feels like he's a SmackDown guy. I don't...
You don't?
No, I said I do think he's a SmackDown guy.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
He does feel more SmackDown to me.
He does, yeah, to me as well. I kind of thought that Ethan felt a bit more SmackDown to me as well. However, I'm actually happy to see him on Raw.
I think Raw suits him.
Yeah, I haven't seen him on it now in hindsight and seen him interact with Penta and then Javon and like Adam Pearce stuff and like the Rusev stuff is weird and that. Haven't seen all that interaction. I'm interested.
Yeah, but ever since like I said on our last episode of Raw, that I really like the idea of Ethan partnering up with Rusev because it will be sort of like a Loki Thor kind of relationship, and I think it would really work well. That
is actually a good shout.
Yeah.
But getting back to Joe,
sidetracked a little.
Sidetracked just a touch. But yeah, look, this match, we don't need to go into it too much. The match itself, back and forth, it wasn't a massive standout, and it wasn't a highlight or a low light during the match at all. It wasn't like it would have probably gone into the ringside shoutouts until we got to the end, because Keanu throws Joe into the ropes, lifts him up, and hits an absolutely awful spinebuster. The spinebuster was bad, and when I seen that, I was like, oh no. And then what followed, my God, because he just proceeds, and I like what they were going for, because clearly Joe is done. So Joe is moving to the main roster. We're going to make Keanu look absolutely dominant. So not only is Keanu going to get the win, he's going to get it through referee stoppage by just raining forearms down onto Joe Hendry's face. Just boom, boom, boom. However, that is perfect when executed well. This was not executed well. No. He laid down forearms into Joe's shoulder. Joe popped the shoulder up to make sure that he was getting them in the right spot every time. And that would have been fine in itself had the camera angle not been directly straight on from the hard cam angle, showing this again and again.
And they kept repeating it.
And they kept repeating it. Like, you're showing this camera angle where Keanu is just flaking forearms clearly into Joe's shoulder, and it's meant to look devastating.
Yeah.
It looks ridiculous.
It looks shite.
So yeah, that's absolutely going into the lowlights, and it shouldn't. This should be a highlight. This should be us talking about Keanu as, are they going to build him as Obafemi now? Are they going to build him like the same way? Is he going to be the destroyer down in NXT kind of thing? They're still building him that way. Like that, we got the interaction with him and Tony D when Tony D got that box later on in the night.
Yeah.
So they're clearly still putting him in these segments where this is a guy coming up. Like, this is going to be one of the guys.
But he needs, like, when he like does spine busters or he does throw people, it needs to be devastating. Like, it needs to be like I think they want him to be the next Oba. And it's like, he needs a lot of work if he wants to get to that level.
See, the thing is, I don't think he needs a lot of work. I think he just needs to get more comfortable, because when you're a dude his size, you're afraid you're going to hurt people.
Yeah.
You know, you're trying to be in the ring and you're trying to work and you're trying to show that, like I can do this, like I can adapt, I can, you know, but you're afraid to let your power go because, like, look at the dude. The dude knows he's strong he's strong.
Yeah.
You know? So he knows if he, like, lets go on a spine buster, he's going to slam you through the mat if he wants.
Exactly.
And you just kind of got to do that. You got to commit and be like, look, man, this is going to suck tonight. I got a spine buster you. I'm going to take care of you, but I'm going to lay it in. You know?
Yeah.
That's just what's needed. But yeah, unfortunately, this ends up in the lowlights.
This is definitely a lowlight.
However, we then follow it up with a bit of a highlight, because calling back to the start of the podcast, like I said to you, the niece of the Iron Maiden drummer, she gets a little promo, or a vignette, I guess you'd call it, backstage, where basically announcing her debut will be next week, and that is of Lizzie Rain, formerly Rain Leverkusen, because this is a highlight for us, because she is going to be phenomenal. Yeah. Like, she is exactly what NXT needs right now, and people who don't know her are she's going
metal.
She metal in it.
She's metal.
She's going to be phenomenal. I'm going to say I think by the end of the summer, I think she will be the North American Women's Champion.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah. I really like her. I love her character. Like, I haven't seen her in the ring much, but her character I'm really intrigued by.
Her character is great. She, like we were just talking about with Shiloh, she commits.
Yeah.
So that is going to work in her favour big time. And on top of that, I have seen some of her matches, and she's solid.
Is she?
She's solid when I saw her, and that was months ago.
Yeah.
So when I think she can only have gotten better since. And obviously, with having the WWE tryouts, she's obviously been training in the Performance Institute. She's been training with Fit Finlay and them, I assume, Matt Bloom, stuff like them.
Yeah.
Guys like that. So there's no way she hasn't gotten better.
Oh, 100%.
So
I wish they kept her name, though.
Yeah, I love Rain Leverkusen. I think I've seen a lot of people are actually happy with the name change. Yeah. Because I don't know. I really I liked Lorraine Leverkusen. I thought it was a cool name.
Yeah, it was unique. And it's like, well, like Danhausen. Do you know what I mean? It's like that kind of...
Well, I guess now I'm committed to Lizzie Rain.
Lizzie Rain.
Let's go.
Let's go. And then next we have EK Prosper versus Lexis King for the Speed title. Good match.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much all you can say about this. It was a good match. It started off well. It started off with a crazy, like, diving over the head pin attempt from EK Prosper.
What would you even call that move? He, like, jumped over him, then got him in, like, an arm lock, and then flipped him over and got his shoulders on the mat. I don't really think I explained that very well. But if you want to see it, go back and you can think of a name for it, because I've never seen anything like that before.
Terrible description.
Is it?
No, it was actually grand.
Asshole.
But yeah, it was a good match. It was a solid back and forth. I was really committed to Lexus winning this match. I was like, they have to have Lexus win this. We can't have created a birthright and gotten all of, like, Charlie, Channing, Uriah, Ariana, and Lexus. We can't have gotten them all together and we're just going to job them out all the time. Like, we need something, you know? So, yeah, having Lexus win was absolutely the right call. And obviously they had the interaction later on with EK Prosper afterwards, where they're going to have a tag match between Prosper and, I can't remember the guy's name now. The Belgian guy.
Oh, yeah, I can't remember his name either.
I feel awful. So I do.
You can't remember his name?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm so sorry, Belgian man. Belgian man. No, because he's an interesting character, that guy. Like, he's an interesting... That dude, if he turns heel...
Yes.
And if he turns heel on
like
EK, that can be a proper story, because, like, he comes across like a heel.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm interested in that, so I am, and I will have his name for next time.
Yes.
I know it's like something, it's D do something, but...
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I can't remember exactly what it is.
Sorry to this man.
And then we get... I'm getting all the lowlights.
Yeah, you are.
Then we move on to Lola Vice.
Our NXT World Champion.
And look, I'm going to say this now. Lola, when she's on the mic, on this podcast, she is perennially going to be in the lowlights.
Yes.
Until we see something from her that isn't wooden.
Yeah, get better.
Just
take an acting class.
On the mic. Yes, take an acting class. Like, you know, hang out with Damien and R-Truth and, like, take some advice from R-Truth or something.
Yeah.
You know, like, talk to people. And I'm sure she does. Like, I don't want to be a dick. But I'm sure she does talk to people. She gets to talk to Shawn Michaels on a daily basis. She gets to talk to all these people.
Yeah.
Why isn't it working?
I don't know. I mean, to be fair, if Roman can get as good as he is on the mic, it's possible. Anything's possible.
No, see, the thing there is Roman was given bad... Now, Roman did get more comfortable. He was a bit wooden himself. But he was also given very bad scripts and stuff.
Material,
thank you. That's a perfect way. I didn't want to say scripts, but I couldn't think of another word. Yes, material, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, he was given bad material. Like, you've seen some of it, but, like, I can show you some, like, the Suffering Thuckatash. Like, that stuff. That's the famous one.
Wait, did he actually had to say that?
Oh, Rich, it's you need to see the full thing, because, yeah, he had to say that, but... what was the line fully where it was, snivelling, suffering, succotash, son. And it just, that was the entire crowd's reaction. Everybody just went, oh, you know, puh. We're spitting? Are we spitting? We're spitting on him. Yes, but yeah, let's not compare Lola with Roman.
Yeah, let's not.
Because, look, Lola, the promo was wooden. The promo wasn't great. I wasn't a fan. Didn't do anything for me. However, what did do something for me was when that music hit and the culling came out.
Yes. Because
Izzy Dame then came down and knocked it out of the park. Because she was banging. She, like that, these are two women who are in relationships with main roster guys.
Yeah.
You know, you have Lola who's with Damien and you have Izzy who's with Braun.
Yeah.
So, I feel like Izzy's taking that advice way more so she is, because like maybe she's chatting with Paul Heyman or something.
Maybe.
I don't know, because she the last 3 to 4 times, like this isn't a once off, and this is a highlight within a low light. Yeah. Because Izzy on the mic here was that good.
100%.
Because the last 3 to 4 times she's come out and she's had these long promos that she's done, she smashed them. And not only has she smashed them with the crowd just giving her non-stop abuse. And she hasn't missed a beat.
Yeah. And you're going to boo Izzy, who is doing a fucking great job on the mic. And then you cheer Lola. And I'm just like, she went in there and schooled her. And I think it just almost emphasized how, like, mic skill-wise, how far behind she is. Because Izzy comes out and is just like miles ahead of her.
Well, when it comes to the cheering and the booing, right? In wrestling, there's this thing called faces, and there's this thing called heels.
I know that. It seemed like...
So Izzy's a heel, so she's getting booed by the crowd. Oh, you want to stab me right now, don't you?
Nah.
But yes, that is a highlight within a low light for Izzy, but other than that, the Lola promo was a low light. Then Izzy attacks Lola. I think this is the road we're going, where it's going to be Izzy and Lola. This is going to be Lola's first proper program.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. Like, I'm fine with it to the extent of I want Izzy to win. I want Izzy to take that title. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Like, they can have good matches and stuff, but other than that, I'm not really I'm not excited about Lola's title reign. I am excited about who takes it off her.
Yeah, I think Izzy could be... I feel like Izzy could be the next JC in terms of a strong heel. And if she got the title, she could have a really good reign and just hold on to it and just get even more obnoxious, And I think it would be really, really good.
That is good. Yeah. The comparison is good. I like that comparison. She could be like JC. She could elevate it to that level.
Speaking of JC, I just thought of this. We didn't see her on...
We didn't see any of Fatal Influence.
Yeah. And we also have SmackDown to come.
We do.
What if we have SmackDown and we have JC Jane's debut?
I think you're right.
Oh my God.
However, I think you're missing out on... How do I want to say this? I was going to say the bigger picture, but that's not what I mean.
Okay.
So you're talking about JC.
Yeah.
However, I think it's going to be Fatal Influence who are going to be debuting on SmackDown. Ooh. And I think they're going to call up all three, including Laney.
I disagree.
Well, that's something that we'll come back to next week and we'll see.
Yeah, I don't think that... I think the reason we haven't seen any Fatal Influence is because they don't want anyone thinking of JC right now because they want it to be a big surprise for SmackDown. So I think once she has her debut, we're going to see Fatal Influence on the next NXT episode, but they'll figure out what's going to happen there, if they are just going to be maybe a tag team, or if they're going to go off and do their own thing, or they're going to have them off TV for a while and have them return. I don't know. But yeah, I think it's just going to be JC. It's going to be JC's moment, and it's not going to be... She's going to separate from Fatal Influence and have her single debut on SmackDown. That's what I think they should do.
I think that the main roster would really benefit from Fatal Influence as a trio, kind of looking to take charge and take over. Because you basically have an actual competent version of what Jade Cargill was trying to do with the baddies, Meechin and B-Fab. You can have a competent version of the three of them, with JC, Fallon, and Laney. They can actually bounce off each other.
Yeah, they've good chemistry, and I totally see what you're saying there.
You just don't agree, and you don't want to.
I just would prefer just JC just to have her moment, because she's strong enough on her own. She
is,
and I think the other two will do fine on their without her as well. So I do feel like they need the opportunity to sort of go up by themselves and see what happens. But
fair.
We'll see who's right when SmackDown comes anyway.
So yeah, then we actually have Ricky Saints attacking Shiloh then backstage. So that's just setting up a match next week. So we'll give that a little ringside shout out. There's not much to it.
There was a moment though where he was like, "Oh, here's your phone." Stone, did he take his phone to lure Shiloh in? Is that what he did?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened. I picked that up in a moment as well, and I thought the exact same thing as that.
Okay, good.
So yeah, I think that's just that's a nice little shout out. Like, match next week, cool, interested, see where that goes.
Yeah.
And then I think we have. Oh, actually, before that happened, and that was the reason why Stone ran in, was like he obviously heard that noise, but before he ran in, he was actually outside talking to Tony D.
Yep.
And that's when he got that box. Tony D was delivered this box with the I think it's Chinese writing on it.
More like Japanese, probably.
Was it more like Japanese?
I don't know.
I don't know what either of them
but
look
I
like.
just assumed Japanese because, Japanese wrestling is huge. But
fair.
You know what I mean? So I'd automatically go to Japanese.
And for who I think it is, the Japanese wrestling actually makes sense. Because then obviously you have Keanu come over and talk to Tony and be like, "Watch your back, buddy. Oh my God, I'm going to kill you, man." But then also...
Bang on.
But then, just spot on. But then also, apparently, he speaks either Japanese or Chinese because he's like, "Just so you know, that's the symbol for war." And it's like, oh, okay. How do you know? All right. But yeah, so apparently that's what that means. So Tony's been given that. It's a symbol of war. I think it's Evil from New Japan that's coming over.
Ooh.
Yeah, you've seen Evil before.
I do. I remember him.
Do you?
Yeah, I remember him. I was like, that's a mad name for a wrestler. Just Evil. It's like very on the nose.
It was Wrestle Kingdom. He was actually wrestling Adam Wolf. Do you remember the guy? This was the guy who you said looked really nervous. He was having his first ever match.
Yeah, there was loads of hype around him.
Massive hype behind him, yeah. Aaron Wolf. Apologies, I said Adam Wolf. But yeah, I think it could be Evil coming to WWE and NXT.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. I'm curious to see what the whole box thing is. And
would you like a little tidbit?
Yeah.
Io Sky's former fiance.
Your man Evil?
Evil, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That is mad.
I believe it's former. I think they did split. I need to look it up, but yeah, I'm fairly certain it's former.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah, so after those two, we then move into what is the main event of the night. And by God, did it deliver.
Yeah, what a main event it was. I went through so many emotions during this match.
So I didn't even mean to say it that way when I said, by God, did it deliver? And once I did, I realised this should have been their stand and deliver match.
Yes.
This should have been how they ended the rivalry and done it at stand and deliver.
Yeah.
Now, look, hindsight is great. This is the end of the rivalry. Like, Saul is definitely moving up.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And when you look back on rivalries ending and like you look back on Gargano and Ciampa and all those kind of like Trick and Mello, you look back on all these stories and you kind of remember them for what they were. This is going to be remembered really, really, really well because this match, it did everything it needed to do, built itself up, slowly crescendoed, and then got exactly where it needed to be, and it over-delivered right at the end.
Yeah. There was like 2 movie references that I noticed. One was Halloween and the other one was Lion King.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
But that's really cool.
So cool.
Yeah, and it's especially when it's done well.
Yeah.
Because if it's done cheesy, now, that's the thing. That's where it can be done well and that's where it can be done badly. Because if you have Zaria hanging on to the edge of the perch, trying to hold on, or Saul trying to hold on, and doing it like that, that would have been bad, and that would have been on the nose. Yeah. But the way they did it was really well done.
So good.
And the Halloween spot, which you're referencing, when Zaria was on the table, And Saul then climbed to the top of the perch.
Yeah.
And we follow her the entire way with the camera, knowing Zaria's on the table.
Yes.
And then behind Saul's shoulder, the camera's there and just pans over to the tables. No Zaria.
No Zaria.
You know?
Oh, that was done so well. Because I didn't see it coming. I was just like, I was with Saul and I was like, okay, where are we going? And then she's like, yeah, she's going to jump. And then to have Zaria just not be there, and then the camera pans to show Saul just standing there like, where did she go? And there she is behind her.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, she is going to spear her off the fucking top of
That's what I thought. I thought the same thing. And I was like, do it. She didn't do it. But...
Well, no, she tried. No. And then she tried, but she jumped out of the way and then she had to stop herself.
Oh, you're right,
because she almost went over the edge.
Oh, I totally forgot that Saul jumped.
Yeah.
I forgot how Zaria got to the edge.
She did that really well. It's because she properly went with speed.
Yeah.
So it looked like she was actually going to do it. Like, there was no point in my mind until she moved. I went, oh my God, because I thought she was going
just
way
going
too
to
fast.
fall.
And I was like, but she stopped herself. And... Then they had this back and forth where they were just throwing shots, which looked so good, especially from Zaria.
Both of them, now in fairness, Saul's did look really good too, and Saul deserves credit. Both women deserve credit in this match.
Yeah.
But Zaria was laying them punches in. Like, they just looked and sounded fantastic.
Yes.
Like, they were just, she was just leathering them in.
Yeah.
And then, they're just back and forth, and then... Was it Saul got the better and then Zaria was like teetering on the edge?
Yes, so she started wobbling back and Saul grabbed onto her hand and she was leaning and she looked straight at her and was just saying...
Wait, who was now?
So Zaria was leaning back.
Yeah.
Saul was holding on to her. Zaria looked at Saul and says, please, like, I love you.
I'm sorry, I love you.
I'm sorry, I love you. And she pulled her back. They have a hug, which I said this in the moment... And I genuinely think this is true.
When you said this, I wasn't thinking it. And once you said it, you're bang on.
Yeah.
And once I realised that then, I was like, oh, absolutely. Which was?
That they both know that this is the end of it. Saul is going up to the main event, main roster. And Zaria is staying in NXT. So they're saying goodbye to each other. Like, they've had this friendship, this, like, tag team for the past year. Like, they've been working very closely together. They're probably friends.
They've gotten each other over.
Yeah, and now they're saying goodbye, and they were hugging, and they were crying, and I was like, oh my God, this is so sad. And then...
But it's also really nice.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's sad.
They gave them that little moment.
Yeah,
you know?
like you never would have been given those things years ago, you know, in NXT you would in NXT because Triple H was running it and he appreciates those kind of things.
Yeah.
When he's not, like, you know, a shill of his former self.
He's changed, man.
Yeah, you changed, buddy. But yeah, obviously then you have them hug, they're crying, they're, you know, and they're turning... And like Zaria, then Saul has her back to the outside of the perch.
Yeah.
And Zaria is then just like hugging her tightly, lifts her head up, and then the face just changes.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh shit, yes, here we go. And then she just pushes Saul off of the perch. In what you would hope would be through two tables.
Yeah, but
however, she goes through one and wallops the back of her head off of the one that, like the second one.
Yeah, I screamed when this happened.
You did.
Because I was like, oh no, I thought that could have been career-ending bloody, like, injury. That looked bad.
It looked like a rough one, and you could tell by the crowd as well. The crowd reacted.
Yeah, Booker almost like shit his pants.
Well, see, the thing is with Booker and Vic, you never know what's selling and what's. But he did.
Yeah.
He did seem like he was genuinely kind of like.
But Booker's not that good an actor.
How dare you? G.I. Bro is an awesome actor.
What the hell is G.I. Bro?
I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Anybody listening, look it up. But yeah, so last woman standing is Zaria.
Yeah. So Zaria, and I'm so glad they gave the win to Zaria here because it made sense. Like, I think my only My only thing from this whole match is when it started, like Zaria's music was playing and Zaria appeared behind her and she went to go to spear her and Saul jumped out of the way, or she like I just wish that she had gotten that
but
spear.
She waited set up the match, no. But the thing that annoyed me was Zaria waited till Saul turned around to hit her with the spear. She should have just clattered her in the back of the head with something and just taken it to her.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have been like, oh, I'll wait for the spear. It's like, no, I'll batter you now with whatever I can and I'll get the spear because of it.
Yeah.
But I think it goes without saying this match is an absolute highlight.
100%.
Not only that, I think this is our unrivaled highlight of the night.
Agreed.
Yes,
yeah, I think it goes without saying this is the best match I've seen in NXT in a while.
Yeah.
Just in terms of like what it did, like it just has told a story, had some amazing spots. As a wrestling fan and the wrestling fan you do have a lot of the storytelling it means a lot to you. Yes.
The wrestling means a lot to you as well, but obviously the wrestling along with a good story, obviously it impacts you more. Yes, so when you see it done as well as this was done, especially the nods and the friendship and everything like that, when it's done this well, you can't help but get engrossed by it.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what this did. So highlight, unrivaled highlight, and an absolute banger. And now Sol moves on, and hopefully Zaria will eventually get her world title run because I feel like she needs it. Yeah. She's there. She's there, and she's shown in bits that she can go in the ring. She can absolutely go character-wise. So she's not far off at all.
No, I'm excited to see what Zaria's going to do. And I think now that she's away from Saul, I feel like we're gonna see some really cool things from her.
I think so too. I absolutely agree.
And
so
on that note,
we will go to our turnbuckle rating for the episode before we abandon you people.
So for me, I thought this was a great NXT. It had lots of there was one low light, but there was two low lights. But
did you say low light or Lola light?
Lola light. We'll call it a Lola light from now on. We have to be like Lola light. But I'm going to give this episode of NXT I'm going to give it a 9.
Oh, I had a number in my head, so I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to give it an 8.5.
Okay.
Because, you're right, it was a very good episode. It was well done. The lowlights weren't that low either, the lowlights on some things can be really bad. The lowlights here were bearable to the point where the highlights really just just went above and beyond the kind of thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And this is the NXT following Mania, which I feel like should have had the same impact as following Stand and Deliver. But we didn't get that. I
don't know about that now. I feel like the NXT after Stand and Deliver should be their version of After Mania.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Their version of After Mania was a letdown, whereas this is the one after Mania, and it was so good. So it's just you can do it.
That's fair, yeah, and and it's hammering home the point that look, we can lose stars like Ethan Page and other people like Oba and Trick and Javon, and we can create new people. We can keep going, because there's loads of people who are worried about NXT.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a lot to be worried about. I think with the people coming through, I think it's going to be absolutely fine. You've Callie Armstrong, you've Micah, you've Shiloh now coming up. Tatum is there. There's so many, and there's so many more. Jackson Drake is a future NXT world champion without a doubt. Guaranteed. I absolutely guarantee it.
And there's always going to be new talent coming in. There's always going to be people from Japan, from AAA, from Indies. There's going to be. I don't think it's as anything to worry about when we think, if people leave NXT, there's not going to be anyone good left. Hell no.
There's always going to be people filtering in so there is. So on that note, we will say goodbye for today's episode.
See you next time.